Everybody, thanks for joining us here on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series. I'm your host, Jim Masters, and coming to us live from Edinburgh, Scotland, we've got an extraordinary, multi-talented guest. Yes, Phamie Gow is here. She's an award-winning acclaimed harpist, pianist, composer, singer, songwriter, musical director, and so much more. She's going to play live for us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Yes. Direct from Scotland. We really look forward to that. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got an amazing show of conversation and music in store for you right now here on the Jim Masters Show Live. You can interact with us, say hi, comment in the comments section, like, comment, subscribe, all the things that you love to do to support our series. We appreciate that. But we're going to dive in right now because she is at the Harp. She's at, well, she calls it Dr. Harp. Dr. Harp is in the house. Phamie is a composer, performer, recording artist who has made an impression on the music scene of today. She received her first commission as a composer at the age of 16, and since then has composed for short films and animation, theater, and TV productions as well in the UK and elsewhere, which is quite exciting. And we're going to tell you about that as you get a chance to hear her play live, which is going to be absolutely spectacular. So if you want some good music and conversation, you got it coming up. She's also played abroad as well. And Phamie performed her commissioned song written in when she was 19 years old with the Royal Scottish National Orchestra. And that is incredible too. And we're going to talk more about her incredible background. But first, I want to bring her on because she's there poised, and she's been poised next to that fabulous harp. We're going to welcome her on right now. Phamie Gow joining us from Scotland. Welcome, Phamie, to the show. How are you?
Hey, good to see you. How are you? How are you doing?
We are doing really, really well. Now, you have graced the stages of many around the world, including New York City's Carnegie Hall, right?
Yes, that's correct.
That's,
Very
I
fond
mean,
memory.
yes. And of course, London and around the world. And your own compositions have been featured on over 20 recordings. You've produced and
Over
released
30 now,
11.
yeah, it's going
Yeah.
up.
Isn't that incredible? And you
Sorry
have
to interrupt
produced and
you.
released all these solo albums of your own composition, reaching millions and millions of streams on digital platforms as a self-published artist. And you're recognized as really being one of the most innovative and groundbreaking harpists. And your piano compositions have created a new wave of classical crossover music too. You were voted in the Classic FM Hall of Fame 2021 and 2023 for your piano composition, War Song, and you've been featured on the best-selling Classic FM compilation albums. And the list goes on and on and on. And you've lived in several countries along the way too, including here in America for a time, I believe, in New York City, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Yes. Do you like living in different parts of the world?
Do you know, I think it's very, I would say, good, or it was at the time very good conducive for my creative buds. You know, being a soul writer,
Yeah.
it's a bit like being, you know yourself, it's a bit like being a plant or a flower, and it needs different environments and different qualities around it. So I've kind of, you know, being a composer, I like putting myself into different environments and different situations in order to absorb it, to be inspired and work well with that. So yeah, no, I loved it. It's so gorgeous. I miss so much. And that's the thing that was great talking to you now, Jim, because I just miss very much my friends, particularly in New York today, of all days. Like we were talking about before we did this interview about my jacket. I would just say to the people that are watching and listening at home that I'm wearing this jacket in honor of the people past and people that have sadly had their lives taken by war. And I wore this jacket when I was performing in a show in Broadway in 2007, a show called Tapera. And this is the very jacket. So I'm wearing this really in memory of those past souls.
very beautiful because it's Veterans Day here in America. I believe it is in Canada as well. And so people around the world
Yeah.
observing
You
the
call it Veterans
contributions
Day,
made.
don't you?
Veterans Day, celebrating all the veterans of
Yeah, no,
the
exactly.
military. And
That's
yeah,
right. We call it Remembrance Day here. You call it Veterans Day. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Always
It's so
remember, right?
important.
So what
Always
was it about
remember.
the harp that initially interested you? Was it when you were a child, when you were a kid, you fell in love with the
She,
harp, or
she,
was it another instrument first before the harp that you fell in love with?
well, it's so funny that question because so many people ask me that, and
Yeah.
it's
'Cause it's
quite a
usually not the
beautiful
first choice
story.
people pick. It's always piano, guitar, you always, the drums,
That's
something. But the harp's
true.
such a beautiful instrument.
That's very true, Jim. You're right. I just, I feel so blessed because I come from a beautiful family and a beautiful part of Scotland. And when my mother was pregnant with me, she listened to a lot of harp music. And so I swear, when I was a child in her womb, I was probably listening out for the beat because I know that I'm a bit of a dancer, and rhythm is a very strong part and aspect to my music and playing. I've been called a percussionist before by a drummer,
Yes.
so that was a huge compliment. And so, therefore, I was always as a being searching and listening for that sound all through my life. And it was only when I was about 11 and 12 I was aware of putting the sound to the actual instrument and identifying and putting them together, and
Right.
yeah, and and that's when I realized, oh, that's a harp. I really want to play it, and I'm really blessed and lucky to have parents that rented a harp initially, and then my father made me a harp. In
Did
fact, he
he
made me
really?
two harps. Yeah, he's such an
Wow.
incredible being. I
Yeah.
know.
Were
Yeah.
you surrounded by music in the family? Are there other musicians and folks in music in your family?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, actually, we're quite a musical family. Our ancestors were musicians, and bagpipers and fiddlers, and there's music in the family. Yeah,
Wow.
many
It's amazing
people.
when I've spoken to folks who have been guests from usually Ireland, Scotland. They'll always say, when you're born there initially, you're always either handed a fiddle or a flute or a guitar or something as an instrument to learn to
Mm.
play, or you become a singer. It's just part of the culture, the music. And what do you think it is about music that comes from those areas, from Scotland, from Ireland, that people just resonate with, relate to, love, especially here? We're in the New York area in
Yes.
America,
Hmm.
and I've just all the folks I've had a chance to interview who are coming from those areas and specialists in the music,
Hmm.
they're sometimes very surprised by the love for it here in America and in Canada
Really?
world. What do you think it
Wow.
is about the music coming from Scotland and Ireland that resonates with people?
I think that it's deeply soulful, and it comes from the roots. We often refer to our sort of type of music as traditional or Celtic or root music. And when it's so natural, it's in your veins, and therefore it's in your soul. It comes from the deepest part of your body and your heart. And it's sort of like it resonates with nature because it's a very natural environment. Again, it's about the land, the landscape, the stars. Often we refer many time to the land and the sea as well. And sorrow is not always joyful. There's a lot of pain and suffering, kind of mourning. That's why it might kind of tug on your heartstrings or harp strings. May I use that quote,
Hmm.
unquote? But I don't know. Yeah, it's poignant.
Do you have a love for the ocean? I think in doing my research, you have a connection with the ocean, and you love the ocean. Boom.
Oh, wow!
That is very cool. Very cool. And look
Thank
at the
you.
clouds, just the way that photo is.
I
That's
can't believe
terrific. That
I
is so
can't believe
awesome.
you're showing that.
You are
Wow,
so
that was only just the other day.
We do our research here. That is cool. Tell us about this. What was happening that day? Do you love the sea? You love the water? I do. We live
Oh,
just a couple
do
blocks from the
you?
ocean here and grew up
Oh,
near it.
gorgeous.
So I'm an ocean
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Are you? Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Swimming,
Oh,
surfing, boogie boarding, sailing it,
oh, wow.
walking,
Oh, wow.
floating.
Yeah,
Love the
beautiful. Oh, I
ocean.
love that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too, Jim. Yeah, in fact, that day.
Was
So
this a
have you
sail you were
seen
on?
what, sorry?
A sail? Sailing? Were you sailing?
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
that was me at the helm.
Oh,
Yeah,
she with the helm. Yeah.
yeah, that's Linlithgow Palace, where not
Oh, in
Lady
the
John
back
Scott,
there.
it's
Yeah.
yes, Mary Queen of Scots was born in that palace.
Ah, that is fantastic. It's a stunning
Yeah,
photo. I just said we've got to show
it's
that she's a very
beautiful.
spirited person and loves the sea, and and you just happened to mention the sea, and I said perfect time to call that photo up.
You're right. Well, that's
Yeah.
yeah, and we did the music video, directed a new music video with a colleague of mine as well, collaborator, Alex Peacock, with the Sea and Sailors music video, which is a single and also it's on the new album, the Dancing Hands Remastered, the 11th album that's just been released recently.
Isn't that exciting? How does that feel to have released this album you see on the screen right here, everybody? There it is. I have to tell you, before we even talk about the music, the cover is absolutely
Isn't,
incredible.
isn't it?
Were you involved in the design of the color of the cover?
Yes, so this design is one of the most beautiful designs by Paul Gerben. I don't quite know how to pronounce his surname. So if you're listening, Paul, forgive me if I'm not saying your
All
name
G.
correctly. Yeah, Paul G. Yo, Paul G in the
All
house.
G.
Yeah. So yeah, that was initially that, but also Aitken Pearson, who did the original photograph, like a silhouette with you see the form, the shape of my body with the harp. And that's Black Magic. That's my electric harp. But it was Paul that came up with the color scheme for that new album, and
It's
that's the
really
digital version.
fantastic, huh? It just
Isn't it gorgeous?
pops. Yeah, it really just pops. Yes. So as far as the training and learning how to do it, are you self-taught? Did you go for all kinds of
Yeah.
lessons? How did you become the talented artist that you are? It takes time and patience. Like they say, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. And you've graced the stage of Carnegie Hall. I've been blessed many times to be on stage as master of ceremonies and host. Matter of fact, I'm going to be again in a couple of weeks in December for a big Christmas concert on stage at Carnegie Hall as well, which is fantastic. For you, tell us about some of the training and how you actually learn to master that beautiful instrument. Dr. Harp.
Well, yes, may I introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, as well to Dr. Harp. So this is Dr. Harp. It used to be Mr. Harp, but he's been promoted to Dr. Harp. So, some people think he should be called Professor Harp, but that's going a little bit too far. Yes, when I was younger, when I did start, actually, I'm showing my age now, but I actually listened to a beautiful cassette and a book, and
I've
I
got the
taught.
cassettes too.
Oh, good.
Sure,
I'm
of
glad I'm not
course.
the only one.
No, I love
Yeah,
them.
that's how. Yeah, and I taught myself with a book and a cassette, and then an LP as well, a vinyl. I listened to it over and over again, and then I had a few lessons with a professor then, and then a few other teachers along the way, but pretty much self-taught. But I'm actually classically trained
Yes.
on the piano,
On the
and with
piano, yeah.
yes, and with the singing, I had a few lessons, but I'm pretty much self-taught also. It's just a slow grind, slowly grafting, and with the accordion, and again, pretty much self-taught. But I have had wonderful teachers along the way, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the harp, even though the piano is so important too, is the harp the first love for you, or is it the piano? I mean, I don't know if we want to say this in front of Dr. Harp
I
or
know
Mr.
you can't.
Piano,
Well, actually, this is not Mr. Piano. This is Black Beauty. It's even
Black Beauty. There
worse.
you go.
Yeah, they're very competitive. You need to be careful. No, it's fine. They're Do you know, it's a good question. It's very hard to answer because I've got Baby in the corner there, which is my classical guitar, which I'm learning now. And there's Ruby, which is my Fender Stratocaster Eric Clapton guitar there. And I love them all. It depends in the given moment in time. It depends who I'm playing for or who I'm playing with. You know, if I'm playing with other musicians, if it's an acoustic set, sometimes it's more enjoyable to play Dr. Harp. He likes that, but also Black Magic, my electric harp. He loves to play with the other musicians.
Somebody asked, do you play electric harp? So you play electric harp as well, too, huh?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm a bit of a rocker at heart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
do you know, they're personal friends of mine. They've been guests several times on our show. I just saw them recently, and we actually worked on a PBS special together. Do you know the Harp twins?
The Marco? Oh yeah,
The Harp
yes, no, I
twins,
do.
Camille and Kennerly. Yeah, the Harp
I think I've
twins.
seen them before.
They're
Yeah,
Nordic. Well, they're from America, but they're Celtic
yeah,
Nordic harp duo twins
yes,
that
yes.
play, and they're brilliant as well. Yeah, it's quite an
Mhm.
instrument to master, isn't it?
It's more a difficult challenge to master carrying it around the world as a handbag. I always say it's the
Yeah,
world's biggest
that's.
handbag.
I
So
was
you
going to
want to
say,
throw your
try to get
bobbins.
that through the airport, huh? Yeah,
Exactly. You don't need to pay for a gym subscription. Just lug
just
the
carry
harp
that
around.
monster, right? Carry
Totally.
Dr. Harp. It's exactly it.
Totally.
I mentioned too that you're born in Scotland, though you've lived in 4 different countries. Um,
Sorry.
well, I attribute making you laugh to my Irish side because the Irish, funny people. So it's the Irish is
Absolutely.
the Irish is. So I always that's why I
That's
say
right.
our show has light, love, and levity, or levity. So and everybody ends up laughing and having a good time with us.
And
Um,
now leather as well. This is so old, it's coming away.
oh,
But
really?
anyway, yes,
It is?
yeah,
It's
yeah. But
coming
we've got to,
away
yeah, but got to respect it because it's a good
because it
memory.
has, right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So you've lived in 4 different countries. You've lived in France, Spain, England, and of course, you spent time living between Edinburgh and Scotland and New York City here in the United States. Now, what's really cool is you had lived for a time in France in Montpellier. And listen to this. When I was probably around 9 or 10 years old, there was a television show, a kids' TV show here in America that I used to love. And it was called Big Blue Marble, with the big blue marble being the earth. And that was the name of the show. And at the end of the show, they would always tell you, the kids, hey, write to us if you want to have a pen pal, somebody that you meet and write back and forth. Back when people used to actually write letters and put stamps on them and mail them. People don't even
Right.
hardly do that anymore. People don't even hardly send Christmas cards anymore. So it turned out
Exactly.
that the very first pen pal I had as a kid was a girl named Patricia Porte, and she was from Montpellier, France. And she used to
Wow.
send me all of these photos of her town and her home and how beautiful it was there and the foods they would eat. And I would send her photos of here from America. And I still have actually a box that has all the letters from when we wrote back and forth
How
as
beautiful is that?
kids. So when I
That's
saw that and doing
lovely.
the research and I saw that you had spent time
Oh,
there, I'm like, wow, it's the French Connection.
right.
It's the French
That's
Connection.
lovely,
And
Jim.
then
That's beautiful. Yeah.
I was always
Oh,
one of those kids that
touching.
did all that, Cub Scouts and all the different
Sweet.
things you can, Little League,
Yeah.
everything you could take
What's
part
up?
in life, I always made sure I did. And my very first instrument, violin. Studied the
Really?
violin at around that age, like 12, 13.
Oh,
Violin
oh, nice.
was the very first one that we studied in school. Now also too, you lived in beautiful Barcelona. What was that like?
Yes, it is very beautiful. It's also very
Expensive?
complex. It can be very costly in other ways, perhaps. I mean, without being too political, it's enriched with so much culture and so many people passing by this. So it's like a pond for tourists, of course. And whenever you have a touristic environment, as you know, a touristic place, as like New York, for example, fine well, all these people, it's like, oh, I meet so many people, and you love there's a new friend that you might find, and then a week later they've already gone because they've, you make these connections. So it's kind of like a push and pull, sort of heartbreaking city, city of love, really.
Yeah, kind of like San Francisco, right? Leave your heart in
Oh
San
yeah.
Francisco. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You get connected with a city, and then of course
Yeah,
London. You've been in London as well, and you spent
that's
time
right.
between Edinburgh and New York City. So there was a lot of going
Yeah,
back and forth, huh?
yeah. I mean, I didn't, it was over about a 3-year period, but I never lived there consecutively.
Right.
Yeah.
This is amazing. You alluded to it a little bit earlier. You first publicly performed at the age of 11. So it's funny. I'm writing back and forth to the friend in Montpellier, France. You end up living there, and I'm writing to her at age 11. And your first public performance was at age 11,
I
at 11
love
and a half.
11. 11
11.
is the number. I love it's my favorite
Right.
number.
Well, when they throw dice, they want 7 or 11. So,
Oh.
and as you mentioned, you taught yourself to play the Celtic small harp in 6 months using the Tudor book and the
Yeah.
cassette. And in
Mm.
your teens, you studied piano with, of course, the late composer, concert pianist Ronald Stevenson. And at 16, you were one of the first to be accepted to study a Bachelor of Arts degree in Scottish music at the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama, now the Royal Conservatory of Scotland in Glasgow, and whilst, of course, continuing to study classical piano and composition. What an honor to be accepted, one of the first to be
Mm.
accepted.
Mm.
That's quite an honor, huh?
Oh, you know what? It was one of the best days of my life at that stage. Trying to think how old I actually was. I must have been 16, 15. In fact, I got invited to do a course in Glasgow at the Glasgow University when I was 15. Already I was accepted then, and then I got into the Royal at 16 and then started at 17. So yeah, it was an
Um,
immense honor. It really was tremendous. And actually, before that, I was studying with a concert pianist, the late concert pianist and composer Ronald Stevenson, at his home, and that was a true, like the biggest honor. He was a
that's
legend, really. It was
yes,
almost like better
yes.
than any kind of formal
Oh,
degree, to be honest. It's
absolutely. So that's
so
great
lucky.
experience, and to have his
Yeah.
expertise as you're studying with
Yeah.
him is, yeah. And in your early 20s, you were invited back to teach the piano as part of the degree course, right?
Yeah, yeah, I ended up teaching a little bit, yeah, in the same degree course. Yeah.
Wow. Now, you were commissioned as a composer at the age of 16 for a local short film on the subject of the millennium. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's when I wrote Annandale. So that's a composition. It's a very, very simple melody on the piano. I can even, maybe I can play it for you if I can remember it. I probably can, but yeah, if you'd like, I can play that for you.
Sure.
Uh,
Well, yeah, folks, she's going to play live. She's going to play Dr. Harp, and then she's going
no,
to play.
no, I was
Yeah.
gonna, poor Dr. Hart's been pushed aside.
Well, yeah,
I was gonna
later on,
say,
Dr. Harp.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
Dr.
don't
Harp
want to
will,
leave him
yeah,
out,
go, yeah,
but
yeah. He's
yeah,
he's
I can't.
just being, he's, well, not pushed aside. He's just he's just taking a little breather.
Push to
We don't
side.
want
There
to
we
get him
go.
angry.
Very
And
beautifully diplomatically done, Jim.
yes, just
Thanks.
yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. And so the Annandale, this work is that Annandale is a lovely area in Scotland, which is in Dumfries and Galloway, which is in the southwest. I was actually born in the southeast, and it's the land where Robert Burns area where he used to work and lived. Robert Burns, for those of you who don't know at home, he was or is our national poet of Scotland. And so, yeah, I was commissioned to write the music for that film, and I'll go and play it now for you.
That's fantastic. That's a beautiful grand piano you have there.
Thank you. This is
Yes.
Black Beauty, she's called.
How long have you had that piano?
Ooh, about 8 or 9 years now. 8 years, I think.
Wow. So she's
Maybe
going to play the
more, no,
piano a
less
little bit
than that,
later, the
yeah.
harp. Very special guest. Phamie Gow is joining us from Edinburgh, Scotland. Folks, if you're enjoying this episode, let us know. Leave a comment, give us a like. And so cool to have everybody watching from all around the world. Phamie's been excited to be here. We've been excited to have her here. And she's gracing us now through just great conversation and lots of laughs, but some fabulous music. Here she is on the Jim Masters Show live. Take it away, Phamie. That's very beautiful, Amy. That's very, very beautiful, huh? Wow. While you're there at the piano, did you want to play anything else since you're already there? And
I could sing you a wee song.
That way there you don't have to move the harp back and forth.
Yes.
And we don't want to continue to offend Mr. Dr. Harp.
Yes, no, absolutely.
Notice how Dr. Harp is faced away from Black Beauty.
He's a little bit in a huff.
Yeah,
he's in a huff.
His butt is up in the air, pointing towards the piano.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but he's still in the screen. So, Dr. Harp, you're still getting full screen coverage here.
Exactly. It's got a wee bit of a look in.
Yeah. Dr. Harp doesn't want to butt in.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So you're going to sing now too, because as much as we're concentrating on being a brilliant harpist and pianist and composer, you're also a singer as well.
Thank you. Can you still hear me?
Yep, we hear you. Mm-hmm.
My voice as well over the piano, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to sing you a song because I know how much you love the sea.
We love the sea, yes.
So I'd love to sing you a song called Sea and Sailors, and we did a music video recently alongside the album, and this is about all the ups and downs that we have in life, very much like the nature of the sea.
Here is Phamie Gow on the Jim Masters Show live.
Once I was a sailor, loved every wee, but the waves grew bigger, stronger and grand. 'Twas then that the mountains became my friends, but the ocean still beckons my heart. Goodbye, dear waves, I wave you goodbye. Goodbye to the lands of oceans. Memories are strong, just like the hearts of you. Goodbye to the sea and sailors. Goodbye to the sea and sailors. But I have to tell you my love for the ocean and the depths of the sea grew darker for me. The sea swallowed all parts of my journey, lost loves, my family and friends. Goodbye, dear waves, I wave you goodbye. Goodbye to the lands of oceans. Memories are strong, just like the heart of you. Goodbye to the sea and sailors. Goodbye to the sea and sailors. Immutable mountains, my home now awaits me. I've been many places ashore, but the sea inside of me won't let go. So now I have to say goodbye, dear waves, I wave you goodbye. Goodbye to the lands of oceans. Memories are strong, just like the heart of you. Goodbye to the sea and sailors. Goodbye, dear waves, I wave you goodbye. Goodbye to the lands of oceans. Memories are strong, just like the heart of you. Goodbye to the sea and sailors. Goodbye to the sea and sailors.
That's magnificent. That's such a beautiful, beautiful, moving, touching song. Oh, and
Thank you.
especially on this very important, weekend where we're
Thank you.
remembering and yeah, and
Yes.
everybody commenting, the viewers commenting, saying it's beautiful and you have a beautiful voice and
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah,
Thank you. That was a
they're loving
version
you.
that was just for you because
Ah,
that was a new arrangement just in the moment. So I appreciate you listening. So thanks
you
for
just
being there
did
too.
that. You arranged it as you were doing
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
right? Wow, that's
yeah.
cool to be able to do that, to actually arrange it as you're playing and publicly. That's such a beautiful thing. Thanks for
Thank you. That's
doing
my
that.
gift. That's what I do. That's why I do what I do because I truly believe in the power of music healing people and
Yes.
and it can save lives.
Must be why we like the ocean, because the ocean's very healing and can
It
be
can
very, very
be.
calming, and it's a life force. I say the ocean, I say
Yeah.
music and laughter are all very healing and very important. It helps release those endorphins that make us feel good and better about life with all the craziness and all the nutty things that go on in our everyday lives, things some we can
100%.
control, some things we do ourselves and cause. Most things happen that we have no control of, but to be able to turn to music and
Yeah.
nature and laughter, I try to have at least an exposure to music, laughter, and nature all in the same day as much as possible.
Okay.
I
Me
bet you
too,
do too,
Jim.
right?
Oh, we're kindred spirits. You know, it's so true. Everything you say is beautiful. I love your words, and that's exactly what I feel too. You know, nature, the power of nature, birds singing here. We have this. That's why Scotland's such a gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful country. The nature. Same with Ireland. Same with America. All parts of the world. Mother Nature. You know, think like that. That's why we're on this planet. We're here for a short time and we're here for a good time. That's why we have to be positive because there is a lot going on in the world that isn't. And the power of that and the beauty of that.
That's
That's,
right.
yeah.
You left home to study in Glasgow at the age of 17, and soon after, you were one of the first solo artists to win the Danny Award and Glasgow's Celtic Connections Festival, which resulted in your second commission as a composer and writer as well. Isn't that incredible?
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been quite a journey.
Early on, like I said, from 11 forward, you've just been going at it. And you might be new to some folks watching around the world, being introduced here on
Yeah.
the Jim Masters show. And I'm
True.
sure now
Yeah.
new followers and
Mm.
fans, which we all always love. But I think that's just to show the progression of how your life has played out. Pun intended, played out. I think it's just really fantastic. You
Yeah.
also performed center stage in the main auditorium at the Glasgow Royal Concert Hall, which I think is absolutely amazing. And you've just had an opportunity to have so many extraordinary things. This year, too, 2023 has been very productive for you, right? As you branched out by
Yeah.
directing the music videos.
Yeah, that's been a new language for me, Jim. I've been loving that, that really, really loving that. It's so good. As much as I love music, which is obviously I think my first love, but I'm not sure now because I mentioned about my parents. I've been gifted and blessed with such beautiful parents, and they have bestowed me this beautiful gift of having an appreciation for nature and exactly what we're talking about, and that's why it's beautiful to be back in Scotland again. And yeah, I
Scotland
just
keeps calling you home.
it seems to be, especially now with Caitlin's in my life, and yeah, I love that. And I think working with film though, and working with a new medium like film directing and the visual aspect, that's something where I feel I think I'd like to go in that direction, carry on in that direction.
That's so beautiful, you know, it really is. And again, it's something that you've done for a long time, and it's obviously in your blood, it's in your heart and soul, to do it and to master a number of instruments. And are there other instruments beyond the piano and the various harps that you play as well? Do you do a flute? Do you do guitars? Any
Yeah,
other?
I'm learning the guitar just
You
now,
are.
yes, I'm just learning that. And I'm also I play a little bit on the Lodi whistle.
Do you enjoy
And I play
that?
the Lodi whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually prefer hearing it than playing it because you know
Yeah.
I haven't put enough effort into it to master it completely. But yeah,
That's funny.
yeah,
I
but I
want to
love
let
the
our
guitar.
Yeah. Oh, the guitar. Yeah. You
Yeah.
and I play that too. We just got a new one too, a beautiful new guitar that was gifted to me for
Mm.
birthday. So really, really love the guitar. Um, but I love all instruments. I love the piano. I love the harp. I love string instruments. I love the woodwinds. I'm just an instrumental guy. I love all of the instruments. I love full
What's your
orchestras.
really? Yeah,
I love
that's
solo. I
it.
love band. Yeah, I really love when instruments play off each other.
Yeah.
I just think it's extraordinary. So much music has come out of Europe that's orchestral. That's really beautiful stuff. And you know, the other thing too, in conversations I've had with a lot of folks from, especially next door in Ireland, next
Mm.
door to you, a swim for us, but next door to you,
Yeah.
um, folk music is very big. There's
Mm.
such an appreciation
Yeah.
with the Irish loving folk music, American folk music, and so much more. And I would
Yeah.
assume the same is in Scotland as well, right?
Think so. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I still feel like I'm a bit of a tourist here, having lived abroad so many places and quite spent so much time abroad that is new for me here. But it's safe to say that people do love folk music. Absolutely.
Yeah, I found that interesting, and it's something that just seems to be near and dear to their heart, which is incredible. I want to let the viewers know, and those just tuning in, you can see the full episode in its entirety archived. But Phamie has been invited as a headlining musician to perform around Europe, United Kingdom, North and South America, including Brazil, Chile, Argentina, Paraguay, Canada, and in Asia as well. That's pretty exciting, huh? To really see the world as a headlining musician. You know what? Your sound went out, your audio. Yeah, we see you, but the audio just went out. I thought you were just bowled over by that question that you needed time to think about it. But yeah, just the audio went off. You're not muted because it would say mute. Yeah, you're not muted, but just, oh, say
Yes,
something now.
yes, you can hear me now?
We hear you now. Yeah.
Oh,
Did your screensaver come on maybe? And it's sort of,
my
ah,
yes, my AirPods. I was working last night. I was working very hard. I was doing a concert last night, and I used all my battery up.
so are they plugged in now or you don't have it on?
I don't have it on.
Okay. So, but you hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Perfect. So, so that's the luxury of live. You get to see things behind the scenes, everybody. So I was mentioning, being a headlining musician performing in Europe, in the United Kingdom, and throughout North and South America, and Canada and Asia. That's quite an experience, huh?
Oh, do you know what? I'm so blessed. I'm so incredibly lucky. Amazing, amazing, amazing. However, I still feel a baby to it all. Honestly, I feel like I'm just beginning at this stage. There's so much more to do, so much more to see, and to, things to experience, things to share and enjoy. When I hear your questions, Jim, it's quite lovely for me in a way because you're kind of shining a mirror on myself, and I haven't really paused and stopped a lot in my life, honestly, and it's quite nice to reflect like this with you. And I feel like, oh, maybe I should pause and just take it all in slowly because it's a lot.
You know, a lot of people say that when we have these, because that's why I don't call these interviews, I call these conversations, because an interview is a pre-prepared question, certain amount of questions, question, you answer it, question, you answer it. This is a nice, rich back and forth conversation. I even had somebody say once, um, Jim, how come you talk during the show? I said, well, it's called the Jim Master Show. Am I not supposed to talk? I'm the host. And then they said, well, yeah, but how come you like engage back and forth? And I said, because it's a conversation. It's I can't do all the talking and the guest can't do all the talking. It's back and forth, and we're both plugging into various things, which I think makes for a richer experience for you, me, our viewers, is a rich, nice conversation, right?
100%. It's lovely.
It's
And I noticed that on your advert when you put that up on Instagram. I noticed that and I thought that's really lovely because it's a chat. That's the way. Why don't we make the world a friendlier place? And that's a wonderful example. So well done, Jim. Thanks for that.
no, it's my absolute pleasure. I want to let the audience know too. Your background is extraordinary because you performed around the world, as I mentioned, and for such illustrious occasions, Phamie, as the opening of the Scottish Parliament in Edinburgh in July 2011, where Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom was present. I mean, that must have been extraordinary. And also, you performed um, the closing ceremony, the London Olympics 2012 in Scotland House, Pall Mall, London, commissioned by the Scottish government and Creative Scotland. I mean, you performed for the Dalai Lama, Princess Anne, Prince Charles before he was king.
Thanks.
I mean, and and now you're performing for Jim Masters and all the Lovelies. It's full circle, isn't it? I
Oh,
mean, it's you had a certain bucket list of things in your life you wanted to do, performing before the Scottish Parliament, the Olympics, the Dalai Lama, the Queen, and the Jim Masters show, right? And now you can check that bucket off. It must make you feel incredible.
absolutely. Woo!
Oh my God, make sure you put that on that resume. That is amazing. Those are great honors, aren't they, Fame?
Yeah, no, it's lovely. Thank you for acknowledging that. Appreciate that. It's yeah, as I said before, it's gorgeous to be full of gratitude and appreciation because it's not just about me. That's the thing. It's about everyone else along the way that's helped you in order to get to be where you are. You know, even though it's been a rocky ride and a rocky journey for me, it's not always been easy. But you know, you have to have a strong faith and be positive again and just always have a clear mind and a good intention and a good knowledge and conscious awareness of your purpose and know the real reason why you're here on the planet. And that in itself is a gift. If you know why you're here, you're already winning. You're halfway there. So yeah.
Finding your life's purpose, living it and sharing it is so extraordinary. It's such it's a beautiful thing. And it seems like you realize that music, singing it, writing it, arranging it, composing it, creating, the music for all of us and working with those instruments, those beautiful instruments that you have around you, you yourself are an instrument, your voice, your person is an instrument. It flows through and out of you. There's an energy that you're a facilitator of that just comes through and out of you that people gravitate to, relate to. And that's a beautiful thing when you realize that and people want more of it and they appreciate it and they connect to what you're doing, which is basically living your bliss, living your joy, living your purpose, right?
Exactly. And I think fundamentally, once you've reached that point, it's about sharing it in the right way. Because, you know, it's I think a fine art to know how much to give and to who to give what to at the right time. because people have to be ready and open to receive as well as give, and as receiving and giving, you know, that notion. And it's challenging, you know, it's not always easy, but it's very enriching as a life experience. That's one thing I could say for sure.
Yes, it really, really is. In 2007, you morphed your performing skills into different nature and starred in the Broadway sellout. You actually were on Broadway in a sellout show. Tell us about that. And that led to your performing on the Regis and Kelly show. And Regis, who we lost, unfortunately, passed away, he was a friend. Yeah, you didn't know Regis Philbin passed away?
No, really?
Yeah, he died. Yeah. Yeah, just a couple years ago. Yeah, he was a friend of mine. I had an opportunity to know him and meet him on a number of occasions. And being a broadcaster and a television radio personality and a host, there are various people who have done it, started it in the beginning. And Regis was one of those fabulous people. He was a legend here in America. I've been on television for decades. And yeah, just a few years ago, he passed away. Yeah. But it was wonderful that you got a chance to meet him and Kelly Ripa at the time at the studios at ABC. Huh?
Sorry to cut you up. You know what? It was Vince Vaughn. He stood in for Regis at the time, so I didn't meet him.
You didn't? Oh, so that's why you didn't know about Regis. So Vince Vaughn came in?
Yeah, he was standing in.
What a good stand-in to have Vince Vaughn. Hey, Vince, come off that movie set. We need you here now.
Come on, Vince.
Vince, come on over. I have another commitment. Wow. So you never got a chance to meet Regis?
No.
Oh, you would have enjoyed him. He was he was very proud of his Irish heritage. I don't know if he had Scottish in him too, but he was very proud of it. And oh yeah, he was a wonderful person, very full of energy and just, bubbly personality. But you did star in a Broadway sellout show. Tell us about that.
That's right. That was way back in 2007. So, yeah, I was going to give you my age, but there's no point. It doesn't matter. Let's stay away from the age thing for now.
Yeah, no, we're all still 11.
We're alive.
The magic number is 11.
Absolutely. I love that. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Broadway. It was actually, I remember we were there for about 3 weeks, and it was a time during the strikes. So a lot of the theatres were blocked off and closed because, they were striking in the people that worked in the other theatres. And so anyway, we had a very good run. It was a show called Tap Era, featuring James Devine, who then was the world's fastest tap dancer. And it was also featuring Ashley McIsaac, who is Canada's well-known Celtic fiddler, and Paul Jennings, who's a drummer. And it was basically the 4 of us, believe it or not. It was only 4 people starring all these characters, including myself. And a show, and it was quite amazing. And to have that experience, thinking back,
That's amazing. That's really, really is. Now, Dr. Harp is there, and he looks a little sad.
Oh,
he said he almost looks like he's got an expression on him saying, well, you played BB behind you, and I'm sitting here smiling, and you've been, tuning me up all day, and here I am. Are you going to do anything with me or not? Or I'm going to go to my room. So we might as well bring the doctor. The doctor's in the house. Beautiful doctor. First, tell us about this beautiful, beautiful harp, and then you'll play something, which is great.
So Dr. Harp, this is actually a beautiful harp made in Scotland by Mark Norris. And I normally play, by the way, I must say that this is also a novelty for me to play to you sitting down, because I normally actually play standing up, but for this special occasion we're playing seated. The strings are guts, made out of sheep gut, levers, semitone levers, and these notes down here, from here down to here, they're wire bound. The bass strings are wire bound, and yeah, so these change the key. You can hear it goes up a semitone, whereas on the big classical harps that you see in the orchestra, they're massive, they're beautiful, and they have pedals instead of these things called levers. They have pedals on the feet of the harp itself, the bass. So yes, I was going to play for you a piece. In fact, I think I'll play you an original version again of Dancing Hands Remastered, which is the title of my 11th 11th album.
Wait a minute. That's right. Wait. I wrote to Patricia in Montpellier, France at 11. You started performing at 11. And now this is the 11th album.
I know.
And you know what?
What?
Oh my God. I just
Yeah,
saw
what?
this. Today is November 11th. It's the 11th month, the 11th day. Today is 11/11.
11/11. I know.
Today is the 11th month, November, and it's the 11th day.
Yes.
And you've got the 11th album. And I wrote to my pen pal in Montpellier, France, where you had lived when I was 11, and you started performing when you were 11. Wow. Let's go to the casino and shoot those dice and get 11.
Good sign.
11/11. I just thought of that now. I looked down at our screen here and I said, wait a minute. All these coincidences with this 11, and now it's 11/11. Wow. So there was no other day that you could come on. You had to be on today on 11/11.
Absolutely.
How ironic is that, huh? That's going to be the title of your next song. Either 11/11 or When I Was 11. Back when I was 11.
I know, absolutely.
Wow.
I was going to say, I forgot to say that we did a beautiful music video in Montpellier called Carousel.
Oh.
That was before I didn't realize that there was the musical Carousel, of course. But anyway, you should check that out because that is a beautiful music video, and that's for me, the carousel is a metaphor for life. But just now, I'm going to play for you a version of Dancing Hands, the title track of my latest album.
Here she is. Bravo, bravo. That is absolutely beautiful. That is really beautiful. So that is on the album, right? That is
It's the first track
wow.
of the latest album, yeah. And
Dancing Hands remastered. You know, you can see why I called Dancing Hands, because your hands were dancing on the harp as you were playing. You could see it happening live, which was cool. And as you were doing that, your beautiful feline friend jumped up on the piano behind you and actually went inside the piano, climbing, sitting inside the piano. I think
it's a shame. I think we might be
so now you get competition between the harp, the piano, and the cat. They all want your attention. Who is the feline friend there that's wanting some screen time?
Caitlin, come and say hello. Come on, darling.
The viewers love when they see an animal come on.
Really, this is Caitlin. Caitlin, come and say hello.
Caitlin,
Caitlin.
Caitlin, you are on television. You are on the internet.
Like, yeah, I don't think she's. I think she wants to go out. I think she wants
She
to go
wanted
out.
to, so she was behind the scenes, just sort of.
Yeah.
It looked like she was about ready to play the piano.
Yeah, I'm prepping her for that. She wants to play the harp first, so she was looking. I was teaching her how to play the harp earlier on.
We're going to show just some video here. We don't have sound because we want to narrate over it, but this is the official music video too, which is absolutely beautiful. Tell us about this and the making of the actual music video.
Yeah, so that was with the collaboration that I was mentioning earlier with the wonderful Alex Peacock, and we just, it's such a wonderful working relationship that we have, both of us. And yes, so the idea of the hands, this is the sign language, using British Sign Language. I'm sorry, I don't know if I don't think it's slightly different in America. So that's an N, for example. They're all the letters of Dancing Hands for deaf people. So it's obviously using the use of the hands as being a form of language to communicate. Yeah, I love doing that. And that, see where I was dancing there? This, I was dancing on top of the Thistle Chapel there, this bit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's St. Giles.
Stunning.
And in there, that's the royal chapel where the royal family do the crowning. So, you know, knight people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So how did you, I guess there, you know, you went up the stairs and there's a door, you came out on the door.
Yes. It's
It looks like an ice skating rink, doesn't it? Up on the top.
that or a bath, but yeah, it could be.
Look, a big bath, right? That is the castle that our guest lives in, and that is her penthouse roof bath.
Yeah, you know, something you can't give the game away. A magician never gives away her tricks.
Never give away the tricks. That's right.
Deliberately. We use that deliberately. That's my friend Marina. She's from Ukraine. So over here, we've been very aware and conscious of
What's
the
happening? Yeah.
horror of Ukraine and other parts of the world too. And these are my fans. They're lovely people. They came along and helped to work in the music video. And this is the first time that I'm dancing actually in my music videos. Yeah, and this is a wonderful skating rink where these boys were skating around. It's so awesome.
Did you hop on the bike too, or?
Yes, I was so tempted to say, "Oi!"
I was going to say, she's the only harpist in the world that plays harp on a motorcycle at the same time. She's got Dr. Harp strapped to the back.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Hold that thought, because that might be happening.
Yeah,
So
well,
this is the official music video for Dancing Hands Remastered, which is her new CD, her new music out. If you're enjoying this, give us a like, comment, subscribe. I'm your host, Jim Masters. This is the Jim Masters Show Live. And Phamie Gow is joining us from Edinburgh, Scotland. And we're celebrating her new album, her extraordinary career as a brilliant harpist, pianist, composer, singer, songwriter, music director, and so much more. And she's playing the piano and the harp and keeping things under control there in beautiful Scotland. So how long did it take to actually do this? That's a cool tunnel. Wow. What tunnel is that?
Now that is the Collington Tunnel that's heading out towards Collington. It's gorgeous, beautiful.
So do cars actually go through it?
No, it's cycles and pedestrians.
Cycles, yeah. So I was gonna say, how do they do that artwork with the cars going? Boy, that's incredible, huh?
And this is Arthur's seat. Yeah.
Wow.
I was opposite Holyrood Palace.
That's something. Now, when you filmed this, were you cold? Was it cold out? Was it warm? I know a lot of times these videos are filmed when it's frigid, but you never see it. Julie Andrews, when she did The Sound of Music, she was on top of the Alps in Austria, and in interviews, she mentioned how frigidly cold it was at that time, which was amazing. Not only was it frigidly cold, but it was when the helicopter would sort of swoop in to get that beautiful angle of her as she was twirling around.
Do you know,
the sound of the helicopter would almost knock her down all the time. They had to keep redoing it multiple times.
Well, actually, talking of being cold, it was actually that day when we filmed that was extraordinary. The amount of energy that both of us put into that. It was basically like 2 days in one, because we filmed the whole thing in one day. We did not the whole thing. We did one filming one day and then the chunk in another day. But my hands are still healing now, and that was way back in July. And we released it in August. The weight of carrying Dr. Harp, and I don't normally carry my instrument, but because obviously I was being creative and being aware of the vision and all that. That's that magic there. That's my electric harp, and that's in the Borders where I was born and brought up. It's the Eildon Hills behind me.
That's beautiful. These are great shots.
Yeah, that's Aitken Pearson. Thanks to Aitken Pearson for these photographs.
That is really nice. So is this one.
Thank you. Yeah, it's in Roxburgh, Drybrow.
That's really nice.
Thank you. The hair was the lovely girl that did the hair.
Beautiful. Really beautiful shots.
Thank
you.
Yeah,
really, really nice. Gorgeous stuff here. And you're really loving what you're doing. It's something that, obviously brings you. That's a cool shot looking through the.
Selfie. That's a selfie. Can you imagine?
You did a great job. How did you mean you held your hand around the harp and then positioned yourself right there? I mean, that's a great selfie.
Thank you.
Look at that. You got the smile. The head just fits right in. That is so cool.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Yeah, you like to have fun with it, right? And that's the key.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are some other things that you have coming up that you're excited about? I know you want to tour, right?
Well,
Is that a yes or a maybe or a? It
yeah,
depends.
we're working on new, yeah, we're working on new ideas. There's many things that I would love to do. Whether we're able to do it or not, obviously, it depends in many things. It's not all up to me, Jim. I think I kind of feel like I'm in a little bit of an interesting moment in my life from reflecting about what I need from a human being aspect and health aspect, and just taking some decisions. I'm working on quite a few big projects already, some writing projects and other things too. So yeah, I mean,
Things that we'll see soon at some point. We'll have an opportunity to enjoy that work.
yeah, hopefully. In
That's
fact,
exciting.
what you will see coming up soon is a new website. So my website, as you put up earlier, thanks for that, is phamiegow.com. I know it's an unusual name, Phamie, like fame, phamiegow.com.
It's the first time I've heard the name. Are there others in the family, or does it mean something?
Yeah, in Greek it means well-known one or famous. And
Good name to have.
possibly, but it's quite hard because I know it's quite unusual in America, and it's an unusual name. So yeah, in answer to your question about touring, we would love to come on tour. We would love it. The terms and conditions just need to be worked on, discussed. You know how
Yeah.
America is. I'm not going to be naive about it. With visas and all of that, and we need to take care of each other. So
Right. Exactly. To be able to make it happen and have it go smoothly takes a little bit of right paperwork and all the technical details behind the scenes, which is very important too. I just want to make mention too of and there's many more things that we could mention. We've just been doing like the short list, but back in 2022, 10 minutes of your music was chosen to be performed at Whitehall on the House Guard Parade in London by the Household Division in the show A Military Musical Spectacular to an audience of thousands of people, and each show in celebration of Her Majesty's the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. That's
yeah,
another wonderful honor, huh?
thank you. Absolutely, it was. Yeah.
Extraordinary, huh? Do you ever pinch yourself when you're having these honors and opportunities come your way? Do you pinch yourself and say, is this really happening?
I prefer somebody else to pinch me.
Uh-oh. She's going to start getting some phone calls now. Emails and the cat that's roaming around, right? Yeah.
She pinched me. She
Pinch
said,
but not claw.
I'm,
And
yeah.
you've also done lots of charity concerts too, which I think is a beautiful thing. You're very charitable in helping others, around the world who go through strife and who go through trauma and tragedy. And that's important to you, right?
Oh yes, immensely, immensely. I mean, that's why I was saying before about it being a fine art to keep the awareness going of your own health, looking after it's a bit like, when you're in an airplane and they say put your mask on to breathe, and you've got your child next to you. They always say put the mask on you, the adult, first, and then the child. But your instinct is to put it on the child first, and then you.
Yes,
And you have
right.
to do well first in order to look after others. And that's where we're at, where it's like that fine art, because I've got a tendency in my nature to always want to give, and you have to learn a little bit of how to
To
receive a little bit as well in order to give.
I can't believe you mentioned that, because that is a story that I constantly tell people, and I've had to learn, and it was recent. And one day I'll tell you off air, because I've mentioned it many times on this show, but even before I started this series,
Mhm.
drove alone through Death Valley Desert in the southwestern part of the United States in August heat, alone in a rental car after a television shoot, my TV
Yeah,
work.
yeah. Mm.
And it was really extraordinary. It was a very life-changing thing to be in touch with self. As somebody who does for others, cares for others to the best of my ability, and tries to heal and bring people together and collaborate. I'm a Libra, so we're balance and harmony. So somebody who's always and was raised just as you described, for the longest time, whenever I was on an airplane and I would hear, okay, in the event of emergency, if the mask drops, grab the mask, put it on you first before the other person. I would always struggle with that notion, saying, boy, that's greedy, that's selfish, that's every man for themselves. No,
Exactly.
I'll help them and then I'll put mine on first. And it took me actually driving alone through Death Valley after a television project to realize that we all have to put it on ourselves first. Now, if you have that infant next to you and the infant's struggling, then of course you put it on the infant and two hands, infant, you together as best as you can. But generally in everyday scenarios, having it on you first, because you have to have that oxygen to be able to then help others. And this was recent, just a few years ago, where I realized this. I don't know about you, when I'm on flights, and I've been on a lot of them crisscrossing the country. We were in Canada recently, all on television projects too. Every time I still hear that, about 10% of me still goes, okay, I get it. That's right. 10% of me still says, that's not what you're supposed to do, but okay. And now I understand. The other 90% says you got to put it on you first. I just can't believe the 11/11 and the story that you've mentioned, which is a story that I've been telling everybody lately about the oxygen mask.
Yeah.
And it's so important. So you're somebody who never did that. You've always done for others, and you've always created for others from the good of others. And now you're realizing at this point in your life that Phamie is here too, and you have to do certain things that tend to your needs, to your happiness, to your survival and your joy, right? It takes time to get to that point, and then create boundaries too, which is something I had to create. I never had any boundaries at all. I was always yes and sure, and you go home and I'll take care of it, and now I'm like, gotta have some boundaries too.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, that was actually, ironically, a project that I've been working on for a long time. And I think I'm actually, forgive me, but I'm going to have to go because I can hear Caitlin crying at the door. I think
Is she scratching at the door to get out to
to do, what?
To do the thing. Well, it was so great spending this time with you. And we're going to, as I say, keep the porch light on. You are welcome to come back to the Jim Masters Show live series anytime you like, Phamie. This was wonderful meeting you. I'm so glad we did this. And I wish you nothing but continued blessings and joy in your life. Keep making all the fabulous music for us. Let's definitely stay in touch. Spread the word about our show to everybody you know. If there's folks that that would like to pop on and be guests anywhere from Scotland, from anywhere, they're welcome. And I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you, Phamie.
Oh, totally, 100%, Jim. No, really, it's been a real pleasure. It's not often that you meet people that you gel with and get on so well with, and I did that with you. So thank you very much for this moment.
You are very, very welcome. And there is the album once again, the 11th. Congratulations. And I encourage everybody to get all the other albums too. It's spectacular music that's going to make you feel good and make you feel alive. And our very special guest, Phamie Gow, is here from Edinburgh, Scotland, gracing us with her presence. She laughed a lot at my commentary. I love that. And you are a wonderful soul, and all of our viewers are saying thanks for being here. Our Lovities saying that as well. And we will see you again soon. Okay, my friend?
Thank you. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you for calling me a friend.
You are welcome. You take care, and take care of that kitty now. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Terrific conversation, great music, and lots more on the Jim Masters Show live, coming to us from Edinburgh, Scotland, with Phamie Gow. maybe the first time you heard about who she is. And wow, how cool to have her here on the show. Wasn't that a great conversation and music? Yeah, that's what we do. Great conversations. And if there's a musician or singer or performer with us, we sprinkle in the music too. And if you would like to learn more about her, of course, you can go to her website, her music, of course, Spotify and iTunes, all the places where music is available. And she is just a spectacular guest to have. And we really enjoyed the conversation with her and all the laughs. She had a lot of laughs. And we did some sound checks and things of that nature. We want to make sure that everything sounded good to the best of her ability, because she is over in Scotland, and sometimes when it is overseas, the technical stuff could be a little tricky, and so it all worked out. And there's her website. They're working on the website, updating the website, but there's the website to go check out all of her incredible music, as I mentioned. And we showed you the official music video, which was great, and it was wonderful having her on the show. And let's show you, because this is brand new. This is hot off the presses, gang. And isn't that cover phenomenal? I love that cover of that album. It's absolutely incredible. Beautiful stuff, and beautiful person, heart and soul. She played harp. She played the Black Beauty piano. She played Dr. Harp, the names that she has for her instruments. And that was really, really cool. We thank her for being with us, and we thank you for being with us as well. And just a couple of really exciting programming notes. We have so many great guests that are coming up. And don't forget, you can binge watch our episodes as well. And before we tell you about some exciting news, don't forget to give this episode a like. Click like, thumbs up, and leave a comment on the YouTube channel right underneath this episode. Interact with us. What did you enjoy about this conversation? What do you enjoy about our series? Do you play an instrument? Let us know. Do you play violin or harp, drums, guitar? Drop a comment on our YouTube channel underneath the episode in the comments section. Give us a thumbs up, like, and if you haven't, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Why? It helps us grow. And when you do those simple things like comment, subscribe, and share, it allows us to be seen by millions more people around the world. Our platform, YouTube, and their ongoing circulating algorithm picks that up, and then they shoot it out to more people around the world. When you give it a thumbs up, like, when you leave a comment, interact with us, and you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now, for those who have subscribed, we thank you so much. We've had thousands of subscribers, new subscribers join us very recently, which has been amazing. And we continue to grow and expand with all these great guests and these great conversations and entertainment and music and laughter and so much more. So we thank everybody, whether you've been with us since day one, and we've seen a lot of familiar names in the Lovely Hall chat room today. Lots of great names. Some of the faithful who've been with us almost since the beginning, some who followed along as the show has developed, and then new folks who maybe are just joining us today. If this is your first time joining the Jim Masters Show live series, it's wonderful to have you here. We're here in the United States, in the New York area, and that's where we broadcast from. And our guests come from all around the world, including, don't go anywhere, let me show you this, coming up in just a few days on Friday, for those who are watching live. Oh, yes, Mairead Nesbitt is returning to the Jim Masters Show. She's a dear, close friend of mine. She's a brilliant violinist, Celtic violinist, composer. She, of course, has starred for the longest time, one of the founding members of Celtic Woman, who's going to be celebrating their 20th anniversary in February. Mairead is coming to our show for the third time. This is her trifecta, her third visit. This Friday, live, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And she's got some exciting news. We're actually going to be on stage together in New York in December at Carnegie Hall. And we're looking forward to that. Fabulous big Tim Janis concert, Christmas concert coming up with all our friends. We're looking forward to that. Grammy and Emmy nominated Mairead Nesbitt's going to be with us for the third time. She also, of course, starred in Rocktopia, Celtic Spells, and we worked on a PBS special with Tim Janis up in York, Maine, with all our friends, which was beautiful. And we've stayed in touch, and she's popping on the Jim Masters Show. And look who's coming on November 20th. Now, we have shows, every day, all the way in between, but just throwing these inks for those of you who like this similar kind of guest in music, those who are from Ireland and Scotland and the UK. For the very first time here on our show, Emmett Cahill is going to be with us, world-acclaimed Irish tenor from Celtic Thunder. And they just are wrapping up, they had their American tour, and you see all the guys there. All the other guys have been on our show. Damien McGinty, Neil Byrne is a big friend of our show. He's been with us many times. Ryan Kelly's been on our show a couple of times. And Emmett, and some of the past Celtic Thunder veterans, Paul Byram and Emmett O'Hanlon and Keith Harkin, they've all been here on the show as well in the past, and a couple of times as well. So for the very first time, Emmett will be with us on November 20th. It's an afternoon show, November 20th, which is a Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're doing it earlier because it's later for him in Ireland, so we don't want it too late for him in Ireland. It'll be 8 p.m. in the UK. It'll be 3 p.m. here, 11 a.m. Pacific. That's November 20th. Just a little programming because I know, information, because I know you like to see who's coming on when, and we've got so many guests lined up for you, working really, really hard to give you the best of the best here on the Jim Masters Show live series. Conversations and music galore today with Phamie Gow, coming to us again from Edinburgh, Scotland. And it was worth the wait, wasn't it? I know we started a little late live because we were making sure her technical components were working on her end in Scotland, and we got that all together for you. And yeah, it was great. Thanks for all the great comments, folks. We love having all of you here, our faithful commenting throughout. Let's take a look at a couple of quick comments here. Of course, if you want to support what we do, super chat, super emoji, super stickers in the Lovely Hall chat room when the shows are on. And when the shows aren't on, you can do that certainly with the super thanks heart icon. There's a little heart icon that's right underneath the episode, and it's on the YouTube channel. Click that, and that helps support all this work that we're doing. Do you know that we are over 1,020 episodes in just 3.5 years? 1,020 episodes of this show in 3.5 years? A little perspective, MASH was on CBS for 11 years. They did 231 episodes. We're at 1,020. Some quick comments here. Maureen says, this has been wonderful, Phamie. Thank you for sharing your beautiful gifted music with us. May your star continue to rise. Very, very nice. Kathleen says, thanks so much for being here, Phamie. You're amazing. Love this. Thanks for playing and singing. Phamie loved being here, and I loved presenting Phamie to you and this great show that we put together and produced for you. Always the best on JMS for all of our viewers. Great show, Jim. It's time to bow out. Yeah, you got to go to work, don't you, there in Texas, Ms. Pat? Have a great weekend. God bless you as well. Kathleen, thank you. Appreciate that. And everybody. I know Sherry was having some technical issues there in Kansas. She made it through. That's so good. And I'm glad that you did. And Maureen just shared her 3-year love-anniversary a couple of weeks ago. For 3 years, she's been with our show constantly, which is amazing. I love being a part of the Lovity Squad, the JMS Lovity Squad. She is, and all of you here. And happy anniversary, 3 years with the Jim Masters Show solidly. That is so nice. And earlier, we saw Karen Campbell Green from Nova Scotia. She loves when I say Nova Scotia. We haven't seen her in a while, and she popped in, and she was here loving the show. Great to have you, and welcome back. Nice to see you, Karen Campbell Green, and a lot of our faithful here as well. So good stuff, gang. We love you all. Thanks for stopping by, JMS. We appreciate, again, our very special guest, Phamie Gow, for joining us here on the show. Check out her music, her new album, and more. Stick with us. More great episodes of the Jim Masters Show coming up live for all of you. Spread the word. Tell everybody you know. You love our show, and we really appreciate that. And we'll come at you again with another great episode. Come see us again. If this is your first time here, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. Jim Masters here, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, here in Lovity Hall, reporting live from Lovity Hall with the Lovity Squad. Now I'm starving. You know, I haven't had anything to eat yet. It's 20 after 4. We were working so hard on this episode today. I don't know. I got to stop that. I don't know what this not eating until late in the day, but I'm going to grab some big plate of food or sandwich or something. I am parched. Love you guys. Thanks for being with us. We like to have a few laughs here on the show as well. And my mouth is getting dry too from all the talking, so I think I'm going to have something to drink too. But we'll see you on the next one. Okay. Love you all. Be well. Cheers.